Glory to Jesus Christ. Today we'll have our fifth video on our adult education series on the Divine Liturgy. Last week in the fourth video, if you remember, we read from St. Germanus on the Divine Liturgy. This is a commentary that he did on the Divine Liturgy in the 8th century, in the 700s. And last week we went through 11 terms that St. Germanus described about the architecture of the church. Today what we'll do, we'll skip a section which describes the vestments of the priest and an explanation of those, but then go into a description of the liturgy itself and meaning of the liturgy that he writes about, beginning with the service of preparation and then leading up to the point in the liturgy where now we would sing the Trisagion Hymn, Holy God, Holy Mighty, Holy Immortal, have mercy on us. So this will be the portion that we read from St. Germanus today. So first he comments about the bread. The bread of offering, that is to say, which is purified, signifies the superabundant riches of the goodness of our God, because the Son of God became man and gave himself as an offering and oblation in ransom and atonement for the life and salvation of the world. He assumed the entirety of human nature except for sin. He offered himself as first fruits and chosen whole burnt offering to the God and Father on behalf of the human race, as it is written, I am the bread which came down from heaven, and he who eats this bread will live forever, from the 6th chapter of John. About this, the prophet Jeremiah says, Come, let us place a stake in his bread, pointing to the wood of the cross nailed to his body. And when he says from Jeremiah, the stake in his bread, it's stake, S-T-A-K-E, not S-T-E-A-K. And then the piece which is cut out from the bread with the spear signifies that, like a sheep, he is led to the slaughter, and like a lamb that before its shearers is dumb. And this quote from Isaiah is actually read as the priest cuts out the lamb from the bread in the service of preparation. The wine and the water are the blood and the water which came out from his side. As the prophet says, bread will be given him and water to drink, from Isaiah. For this spear corresponds to the lance which pierced Christ on the cross. The bread and the chalice are really and truly the memorial of the mystical supper at which Christ, having taken the bread and wine, said, Take, eat, and drink, all of you. This is my body and blood. This shows that he made us communicants of his death, his resurrection, and his glory. Thus the priest takes the oblation, which is in a basket, from the deacon or the subdeacon. He takes the spear, cleanses it, then cutting the oblation in the form of a cross, he says, As a sheep led to the slaughter, and as a lamb before its shearers is silent. Having said this, he places the oblation on the holy discos, points over it, saying, He does not open his mouth. In his humility his judgment was taken away. Who will recount his generation? For his life is taken up from the earth. Having said these things, he takes the holy chalice, and the deacon pours wine and water into it. Then the deacon says, Blood and water poured from his side, and he who saw it has borne witness, and his witness is true. After this, he places the holy chalice on the divine table, and pointing at the bread, the sacrificed lamb, and the wine, the blood poured out, and says, There are three who bear witness, the Spirit, the water, and the blood, and the three are one, now and ever, and for the ages. Then he takes the censer, adds incense, and says the prayer of the offering. The antiphons of the liturgy are the prophecies of the prophets, foretelling the coming of the Son of God, proclaiming, Our God has appeared upon earth and dwelt among men, and he is clothed in majesty. The prophets are indicating his incarnation, of course, which we proclaim, having accepted and comprehended it through the ministers and eyewitnesses of the word who understood it. The entrance of the gospel signifies the coming of the Son of God and his entrance into this world, as the apostle says, when he, that is, the God and Father, brings the firstborn into the world, he says, "Let all God's angels worship him." Then the bishop, by his stole, manifests the red and bloody stole of the flesh of Christ. The immaterial one and God wore this stole as porphyry decorated by the undefiled blood of the Virgin Theotokos. The Good Shepherd took the lost sheep upon his shoulders. He is wrapped in swaddling clothes and placed not in a manger of irrational animals, but on the rational table of rational men. The hosts of angels hymn him, saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and peace on earth, goodwill to men. And let all the earth worship him." And, heard by all, "Come, let us worship and fall down before him. Save us, O Son of God." And we proclaim the coming which was revealed to us in the grace of Jesus Christ. And we'll stop there and pick up on our next video with the Trisagion hymn in the liturgy. Most notable in hearing this description from St. Germanus is so much of it is still done, and the same words are done when the priest is doing the service of preparation before the liturgy. The words that he described in the 8th century are still being done by the priest today before the Divine Liturgy. So we really see the historical path of the liturgy that has not changed a whole lot throughout history. Again, next week we'll pick up with our next video from the Trisagion hymn. Glory to Jesus Christ.